No doubt you've read the title. How do I think Bungie should go about dealing with the problem of Mida multi-tool? And I can already see tons of you jumping to Mida's defense in the comment section below. Now, overpowered might not be the right word to describe Mida. The data shows it kills in roughly 1.2 seconds, which is not the fastest killing gun in the game. That is actually held by the Omolon sidearms that kill in 0.7 seconds. Mida is popular, and I think there's a lot of reasons that that's the case. It becomes immediately apparent of how popular it is in Trials. The first week of Trials of Osiris, Mida was equipped on at least one player in 98% of the matches that took place. One of the reasons we seem to be seeing Mida being used a lot in the Trials game mode is because Trials this week, and most of the weeks, is extremely about team shots. Shooting as a team to kill one person very quickly. Mida lends itself to this playstyle amazingly, and that's the reason why it's so popular. Well, sorry, one of the reasons. I think Mida is balanced all for one perk. High caliber rounds. High caliber rounds staggers targets and in PvP causes flinch, which gives people shooting back kind of RNG rounds and prevents them from actually landing their shots on you when you're shooting them. Now, Mida doesn't kill the fastest, I've already said this. What it does is when you're shooting someone outside of its intended range, if you're at mid-range where the Uriel's Gift archetype of auto rifle really shines, you're able to hit them in the head repeatedly and knock their aim off enough that you have a chance to kill them at a range where they should be dominant, which is the main issue. So what I would do is remove high caliber rounds. Now people are going to scream immediately, wait, what about its ridiculous aim assist stat, its ridiculous handling speed? In my mind, those things are what make Mida exotic. That crazy handling speed, that really fast reload, that ridiculous aim assist. If you take those away from the gun, all you're left with is a standard scout rifle with third eye. That's it. If you take away what makes Mida potent and gives it that exotic status, it's not worth using. Now granted, those stats draw new players into it. They draw people in that haven't got the insane accuracy, the insane gun skill, and they might give them a usable weapon that takes up their exotic slot. Now, people argue the fact that, oh my god, they're using the exotic slot. And the main issue that's not a big thing is because most of the exotics in the other slot aren't at that level, if you understand what I mean. They're not enough of a, like, yo, you should probably use me. I'm pretty good. I'm actually, in some situations, a lot better than Mida. A good example might be Risk Runner, if someone's stupid enough on the enemy team to be using arc damage. In addition to taking away high caliber rounds, I would say they need to buff other things. Other things to compete with Mida. Something that immediately comes to mind is pulse rifles. The Nightshade was nerfed from the beta. It used to do 23 on a critical, now only does 20. This has significantly decreased its time to kill, and at the longest ranges, Nightshade would complete with Mida. If you remove the high caliber rounds, as we mentioned before, Mida falls into the same range as pulse rifles. Maybe just at the longest range of pulse rifles, Mida will start to show its true colours. But if pulse rifles were a lot stronger, they would at least compete. And if you could close the gap slightly, then, and to the point where the Mida user is now in pulse rifle range, you would outgun them easily. I feel that Mida and scout rifles are going to be strong in Destiny 2 just because of the fact that as a team, if you can all shoot someone at the same time, the further away you do that from is the better option. Now, I'd like to talk about what they could do to the other scout rifles to raise them up and make them even more of a competition with the Mida. Firstly, improve the stability stat on legendary scout rifles. Legendary scout rifles in the high impact tier. At the moment, they are very high risk and very medium reward. They kill in about a second, roughly speaking. A bit faster than Mida, but they are a lot harder to handle, sporting very low aim assist stats and very low stability stats. So what I argue they should do is increase the stability and maybe increase the aim assist just a little bit to make them more usable in situations where you're not staring down a sniper lane. Because at the moment, that is all those scout rifles are useful for. I don't like seeing weapons nerfed. It made Destiny 1 really boring towards the end. Guns that were powerful became shells of their former selves. A good example of this is the Vex Mythoclast. When that gun first came out, it was undoubtedly the best gun in the game. One balance patch came along, and it was never used competitively again. I don't want that to happen to Mida. They need to buff other things. And I really hope that they take the community's backlash from the constant nerfs from the first game into account before they write their next balance patch. Because you know that it's seeing 98% of games having a Mida in is going to be a cause for concern for Bungie. It's really early on to be talking about metas. But I think Mida should stay as a top tier exotic, but other things need to rise up around it. Well guys, that is my opinion. Sound off in the comments section with your opinions. Let's keep it civil down there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.